Star Wars Unlimited fans, welcome to today's video where we're looking at yet another deck utilizing red to abuse aggressive negotiations, none other than Tobias Red. A deck that everyone, once it was released into the format, immediately knew it was just another deck to utilize aggressive negotiations. Not only this, but this is the first place deck from the Nexus Invitational, the Nexus Invitational held in the UK. This actually, I believe, the person who piloted this is the world champion of Star Wars Unlimited. But nonetheless, I did want to check out the deck, see how well it is, because I was really looking for Tobias decks right now, because I thought, nonetheless, he's an extremely cool leader for what he can do and what he does and all of that. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at the leader, the deck, and then jump to Carabas for our best 2 out of 3 and see if we can win with this Tobias deck. So with Tobias on his front side states action, tap him, choose a friendly unit, and opponent takes control of that unit if you do create a credit token. So your whole kind of gimmick is, when some of the cards we've seen that got released, is your whole gimmick is that you're going to give your opponent some bad things. There are different ways to really build Tobias, in my opinion. You could build it with the ship from JTL that can't attack. You could build it with Ogdo Bogdo, because Ogdo Bogdo can only attack when it's wounded. A common card we're actually playing here is the Stolen AT Haulers. So you can play some very really bad cards to give your opponent that have really bad effects, just to give them to your opponent. They create credit tokens and then utilize Tobias's flip effect on 5. When he's flipped, you destroy all cards that are yours that you do not control. So in essence, his whole gimmick is that you give your opponent a bunch of stuff, of your stuff. Technically, they're no longer your cards, but they're still technically your cards because they actually go to your deck. Then you flip him over, he blows them all up. You draw a card for each card destroyed that way, and you create a credit token. So your whole gimmick is that you're giving your opponent a bunch of your things, you're blowing them all up. Once you flip, you get a bunch of credits, and then nonetheless you get aggressive. Then because you have a massive hand of cards, you go aggressive negotiations onto Tobias and then murder with him. And we do have Sudden Ferocity in this deck as well, so when you flip, you Sudden Ferocity, paying your normal resources, and then you still have all these credit tokens that you've created that you just go credit tokens, Tobias, swing for game with aggressive negotiation. So he's going to be probably one of the leaders, much like Jyn Erso, that can definitely heavily abuse aggressive negotiations. So again, we're just playing mono red here, so we just have a mono red base. Choose any mono red base currently in the rotation format. For the rest of the deck, we are running triple Cheofane. On attack, choose 2 players. If you do, they each draw a card. Even though we would give our opponent a draw, it's better that we also get those draws because we definitely need to be seeing our pieces. So even though we technically can give our opponent things, we do want to be able to draw into what we're looking for. So we are going to give our opponent the draw because we need the draws as well. We need to be seeing those aggressive negotiations. We need to be seeing those stuff to hit our opponent hard on. We do need to see the things that we can start giving our opponent. So we do want to see that very much. Double Outer Rim Constable to deal with the JTL leaders that aren't Luke Skywalker. Triple Todarian Technician with Raid 1 and Restore 1. Triple Val, when play, give it a show token to another friendly unit. And then right before we do Tobias, we can use Tobias's effect to give it to our opponent, and then when defeated, give a show token to an enemy unit. So basically, we give Val to our opponent, credit token, we flip Tobias, we kill it, our opponent has to give us a shield token to one of our units. We just get a show token to something on our side of the board, so we could give it to Tobias, allowing him to be shielded. Triple Warrior Clan of Ordo. On attack, you may disclose red. If you don't, you just deal 2 damage to your own base. So we do want to make sure that we're doing, if we do swing with this and we're not giving it to our opponent, we do want to make sure 100% that we do show a red card. We might give this to our opponent just even though it has 3 damage points on us, just because unless our opponent's in red or does have any ability to show red, they always will be dealing 2 damage to their base every time they want to attack with this 3 body. 1 Arvel Skane, when played on attack, you may defeat a credit token belonging to any player. If you do, deal 1 damage to our base. Again, this is really good, especially if we are seeing a credit-based matchup against us. This is really good for us to always play destroy credit on attack, destroy credit. So if we're seeing like Boba Fett, if we're seeing anybody right now that can create credit tokens, we want to be able to counteract those credit tokens, especially if we say we run into a matchup that's not really great, that has a higher generation of credit tokens than us, then we kind of want to use this to knock out those credit tokens. Triple droid laser turret, it's just a 3-2-1 sentinel shielded. Double two-phase Triogue does come down with sentinel, and then when played, you may choose an opponent, take control of this unit. If you do, create 2 credit tokens. This is also pretty nice because it does combo with the 𝐒𝐿𝐷. So typically we want to play this, give it to our opponent, we give the 2 credit tokens to ourselves, and then we can go 𝐒𝐿𝐷, and when played, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. This can include as well as any one of our other guys, like Val can come back to our hand or anything if we want to. And then its owner may play it for free. It gains shielded for the phase. So we play the 2-phase Trog, and then we'll be able to go 𝐒𝐿𝐷, bounce it back to our hand, and then we can play it for free and give it a shield token. So we have a shielded sentinel. So that was a great way to help defend ourselves, as well as we do get 2 credit tokens for giving it to our opponent, as well as we could give it off of the Tobias as well to get another credit. Triple Hona, Raid 2 and Restore 2. We've already talked about triple 𝐒𝐿𝐷. Double Fen, Ambush, and then on attack you may give a shield token to a non-unique unit. And then finally, triple Kirsten. Overwhelm, has Ambush, Overwhelm in action, discard 2 cards from your hand, return this unit from play to your hand from play. So basically, you swing in, go for the ambush, you ambush and overwhelm something with your 7/7, and then at the end turn you just pay 2 cards out of your hand and bounce it back. Again, Tobias will have enough cards very much in the late game that we can bounce this back a few times to get it. First baseman, we are running triple stolen 𝐴𝐷 Hauler. When defeated, choose an opponent for this phase. You may play this unit from its own pile for free. Very important note about that is that 1, you can give this to your opponent off Tobias' effect to trigger that when defeated, because the 𝐴𝐷 Hauler doesn't care who defeats it. It's always an active affected card. So meaning if it's on your opponent's side and you defeat it, technically even though it went to your graveyard, technically the when defeated triggered on your opponent's side. So your opponent gets to then choose you. So meaning that the 𝐴𝐷 Hauler trigger effects goes off, meaning you get it. But also it's really nice because if your opponent happens to steal the 𝐴𝐷 Hauler and play it for free on the turn you have Tobias, you can just flip Tobias, blow it up, because it's still your card. It's still a card that you own but do not control. So your opponent does have to be cautious about that of when grabbing the stolen 𝐴𝐷 Hauler, especially on Tobias's 5 flip turn, that you do have the ability to flip Tobias, kill the 𝐴𝐷 Hauler, triggering its effect, allowing you to play it for free on your side of the board, as well as any JTL leaders that do flip onto, say, the stolen 𝐴𝐷 Hauler, 𝐒𝐿𝐷, Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐄, no matter who flips onto it, the whole gimmick of that nature is that once they flip onto it, and if it's yours, you just flip Tobias, blow them up, and that just kills them straight off the board state. And then finally, double Blade Wing. When played, we may return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. For our events, 2 system shocks to defeat non-leader upgrades attached to a unit if you do 1 damage to that unit. Our triple and aggressive negotiations, the card that definitely will be banned once the PQ season gets a few games into it, and we see how many decks are going to be running to it. Again, folks, Red's going to be rampant in this because everyone's going to run aggressive negotiations. Jyn Erso, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Infant's Nest, Tobias, any leader that has red naturally, or any leader that can use a red base will use aggressive negotiations. It's just the name of the game now, folks. This is just the way it's going to be. So expect this card to get banned pretty soon into the PQ season. Just because we'll need to wait to see what results come out. We'll need to see how many red decks are really running this. But if a bunch of red decks are in the top 8 and they all have aggressive negotiations, then I don't expect to wait very long for Fantasy Flight Games to come out and say that this is immediately getting banned. I mean, it'll affect all the red decks, but I think overall it'll just be a better meta if not every red deck has the ability to jump into using this. Anyways, once again, attack with a unit. For this attack, it gets +1 for each card in your hand. That's why we always want to be drawing up that Chiofane to search out aggressive negotiations, but also hold a giant hand for us to go aggressive negotiations for the win. 1 Commandeer to take control of a non-leader vehicle unit. Cost 6 or less without a pilot on it. If you do, ready it at the start of your next regrouping phase, return that unit to its owner's hand. And finally, double Lost and Forgotten. Defeat a non-leader unit if you do heal 3 damage from your base. For upgrades, we're running double Nimble Prowess attached to a friendly unit. When play, you may exhaust a unit attached to unit's arena. Double Sudden Ferocity, like I said, we're going to typically plot this always out when we do the flip on Tobias so that we can have Tobias have some ferocity, and then if we can, then with the credit tokens, we can go aggressive negotiations and well win, or we can do double sudden ferocity if we have them both, and then next turn goes then swing for that turn, then go aggressive negotiations for the win, and then finally one mastery. This unit. This upgrade costs 1 less to play on a unique unit. So basically, we're always going to play it on Tobias or any one of our unique guys, and you get a +3/+3 buff. So if we put on someone with unique, we can pay for 3 and give them a +3/+3, which is really nice. For the sideboard, 1 more Outer Rim Constable if we need consistency of it, 2 more 𝐒𝐓𝐃𝐿 if we need consistency of seeing a way to kill our opponent's credits off the board. 1 Trees Remember to enemy unit loses all abilities for the phase. If it costs 3 or less, we could just defeat it. So if we just need to defeat a level 3 unit, we can do that. 1 more Commandeer, triple Hyperspace Disaster, defeat all space units. If we happen to run into a very, very large, if our matchup happens to be in the space arena, then we can use Hyperspace Disaster to quickly deal with that presence. And then finally, 2 Rhodanium Detonation. Each player may return a non-leader unit to its own hand and then defeat all non-leader units. So basically, you bounce 1 guy back to your hand, your opponent and you bounce 1 non-leader unit back to your hand, and you just nuke the board state. So if we need a board wipe nuke in this coloration, we have this. Again, do be mindful your opponent does get to bounce something back to your hand, but if your opponent's gone into a large, wide stated board state, then there's not really much. This is also really nice against the JTL leaders because the ships the JTL leaders are on are considered leaders. So we do have ways to we can't kill them off clearly, but they can't bounce it back. So they can't bounce back a ship they want to protect. It's also good against swarm style decks. So if we have decks like Vader, JTL, or anything like that, any decks that are going wide, this is a great way to deal with the wide state by forcing them to bounce only 1 thing back, and then we blow up the rest of their board state. This is also nice because it means if we have to Tobias out already and he's still standing, we can just use this. We don't have to worry about Tobias getting killed off. We just murk off the rest of our board state and kill it off and all of that. So it's just another way to deal with wide board states that are non-leaders. So again, Hyperspace Disaster, if we see any JTL leaders, that just kills them off immediately. So with that said, that is our Tobias Red deck. Let's jump to Carabas for that best 2 out of 3. All right, folks, here we go. Vader Blue, Vader Law Blue. Interesting. So action discard a card from your hand, deal 1 damage to unit or base. And then, of course, flips on 7, 6, 8. On attack, discard any number of cards from your hand, deal damage to a unit or basically the number of cards discarded this way. So your whole gimmick is you discard a bunch of cards here. So we have a pretty good hand here. If we can see maybe... Actually, I just disposed of the red card. The only red card we have that can actually make sure the Ordo doesn't start damaging us, because we can't give the Ordo to our opponent who just has access to red as well. But yeah, no, this is a very interesting Vader. I don't know exactly how to really build him or feel about him. I mean, if you're going to play Vader, I just recommend the Hoth Vader. I think that overall is just the better Vader, in my opinion. We did get red, funny enough. Abyss Brute. I'm going to go put down the hauler here. So one thing they're probably doing is they got the Chio fan in this color. They have the Valiant Valorant, the cyborg looking guy that's when you draw a card, you get an effect. And you also have the Mandalorian in this coloration as well. Just so I don't accidentally hit myself in the face, so we'll just pass on that. I doubt the guy has any upgrades here, so we'll do this. Again, as a reminder, we do have the ability to give our opponent the stolen AT Holler, because again, we can kill it with Tobias since it's our card. We have the ability to give him the Vel, because we can use the Vel to give a shield token here, and then we can give Vel to our opponent, allowing us to get that. Double Night Sister. Again, I think the one problem with this Vader mainly is your hand. This game doesn't really 100% always have the ability to do a lot of things with your hand, so he's just going to use the Vader effect, pitching a ray to deal damage, which makes sense. This ray only really works if you draw it, and he has to pay a 7 cost to play it out naturally, so we'll give him the Bell. Why not? We're not going to burn the credit token for that. Funny enough, we could use the Rio to grab back the Vel. So we'll put a droid away. So he's immediately going to kill the AT Hauler. That gives us it back, by the way, because if you don't know, this says no glory results, you take control of the unit and destroy it, meaning that he took control of the AT hauler and blew it up for himself, which then allows me to trigger it again. And this is not a win defeated once per turn, this is a win defeated whenever. So that is the thing. Well, I guess not at this point, it won't matter if we defeat it or not. Tobias. We're gonna give my opponent back his AT hauler that he stole from me. How nice of him to steal my hauler. And then we're just going to go trigger Tobias, and then we're going to play Sudden Ferocity onto this, and then we're going to just I didn't want to. I guess we'll pay 1 credit for it. And then we will blow up both of our guys, go to done, we get to draw cards, and then we get a bunch more credit tokens off that, which is nice. My opponent still has to give us a shield, so we have the hauler back again. So Vader to pop the shield, we'll go Tobias 7 at the base. Again, we can play the hauler for free. We'll put out another 𝐕. We'll pay without credits. We'll do that. And then we can go to Pat. Done. Mastery is really nice onto the bias as well. We'll put the Blade Wing away. Man, where's our aggressive negotiations? Like I said, this is the one problem we just have with this Vader. You have to pitch just to get this effect to work. Yeah, look, it's a rock, everybody. He pitched the rock. I didn't realize he pitched the rock. Man, that just feels so bad when you pitch the rock. Pay without credits. I mean, where the heck is our pay without the credits? This just is here just to ensure when he flips, just for protection against the Vader next turn. We can swing 10. I mean, we win the game here. The Tobias swings, wins game. This is a Sentinel here, so I mean, there's nothing much my opponent could do. I just feel like this Vader just is not built to handle this level. He just feels so bad. I mean, you got to play him almost in green so you can ramp, but at that point, it just doesn't feel great at all. It's like there's nothing great about this Vader. It's like you just rip half your hand for nothing. All right, next game. All right, well, I know for a fact we don't need this. He's not upgrading anytime soon. We'll put in both of the disasters in case he gets into a wide game state. I don't think we're going to need the tree. I mean, we could target the tree to have the Vader lose all its abilities, but I think we're fine just putting in the disaster into the disasters in there. If we saw a 2-drop, this would have been nice, but no, we got a mulligan it. The 𝐕 that has no targets. All right. We didn't see any ships out of him, so we'll put those 2 away. No ships, no nothing. I think we'll just claim. There's just not a reason to do anything. Well, I mean, it's pretty nice because we can give this. We can trigger to get the 2 tokens. Give our opponent the Sentinel. They're going to give us a draw. I think I'm fine going to just claiming here. Because we can drop the Ordo and the 𝐕, then the 𝐕 to give the Ordo an experience token. Aggressive negotiations. Because we can play down the Ordo, just paying its normal cost. If he wants to go Bith Brute at it, that's fine. Draw me another card. We go 𝐕 to pay without credits. Give this a shield. Then we go Tobias to send the 𝐕 to my opponent. They have plenty of cards. They can potentially use the Vader to pitch you to knock out the shield. We'll just go claim. Interesting, a Darth Scion. Knowledge of Defense to give this -1/-1, so we only take 1 damage from that. Bith Brute. Oh, I totally forgot to trigger. I don't think we both need a 𝐒𝐿. Okay, so we're going to go Rio. Rio playing without credits. We bounce this, trigger to play it, and we will give it a shield and not pass it to our opponent. I think we're fine not passing it to our opponent, meaning that they have to come at it. Or they could just do no glory on the results on it. We can, yeah, let's just deploy Tobias. Nothing to pop, nothing to draw, nothing to do. We can kill the Bith Brute. I mean, if he wants to give us another draw, he can just give us another cancel. 2 at the base with 𝐿. We'll pass. We'll put the System Shock away. I mean, he's still 1 away from deploying, and he's not in green, so he can't ramp the Inquisitor Man. Inquisitor Man can't pay without the credits. Can't survive getting hit with that. It's a great way to kill off the Inquisitor Man. Alright, so we'll just swing both, pass. No point in putting a Sudden Ferocity away. We could put the other System Shock away. We are going to have to deal with the Vader this turn, though, which is going to be scary. Here comes Vader Man. Does he have a plot? 𝐶𝐈𝐿 to swing immediately with the Vader. That's disgusting. Vader into 𝐿, and then triggering the effect, he can pitch 5 cards out of here to deal 5 damage to Rio, killing off the Rio Durgent immediately. I mean, I don't have any great way to deal with this, but that would be 5 cards out of his hand to do it. So, I mean, that would be really advantageous to him to do it. Oh, I have to give a shield token to my opponent. That's what was happening, the 𝐿 trigger. We can play this, pay without the cost. We can trigger to give it 2 experience, to give us 2 credits. We can then drop another Rio, pay without cost. We can kill this Rio, bounce this, trigger to play, coming in shielded. We're going to pass on, give it to our opponent. We can then play out the Hana using all 4 credits, and we will pass. We can then pass on that one. I think 7 resources is just fine. The problem is 𝐶𝐈𝐿 is just going. We're just going to trade out the shields off the 𝐶𝐈𝐿. I already know that. And then he's able to swing on attack. Trigger goes first, so he could discard 4 cards, kill the Trog, and then. But the problem is, or you can just do no glory on the results on it. We can play another one. Pass. Meaning that now the 𝐶𝐈𝐿 has to go. Did he just do another? Oh yeah, no, that was a 𝐶𝐈𝐿 triggering. Okay, we can put a Sudden Ferocity onto this. Yep, now he can pitch out 5 cards to potentially kill this off, which is nasty. Meaning that we have to go into game 3 here to win it all. I mean, I guess in this game he got the draws off. There's a whole bunch of damage that just came swinging at my base. Well, I know what he's saying. No matter what I do, there's no way for me to kill both this Boba, this him, and him. If I had 2 more resources, I could have done aggressive negotiations and gotten out of that. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is. Because I can kill off this. Oh, I healed. I totally forgot. Right, I healed. You do 2, pass. I don't know why I'm not putting the comedy. I totally forgot Hana's restore 2 on her side, which saved me. And all that. We can trigger to ambush and kill. We could pitch 2 cards here to get this back. Oh, that's just game there. Yeah, Devastator. Alright. I think we're gonna put 1, the tree remembers, and I think we're gonna drop the 𝐿, but he's just not playing any form of credits, and we're the only one playing them. I think we can still run with the 1 Commandeer. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. We will start ourselves. I mean, that is a good starting. This is actually really good. So we're gonna keep We'll put away the Finn. Let's put away the... I'll allow it. We're going to still keep our hand. I guess my opponent wanted the mulligan. That's fine. I mean, I'm not going to kill him for taking another moment to decide on the mulligan. They're going to keep their hand? Okay. A little strange. So we're going to go these two. Oh, I guess they resourced the wrong cards, which again, I'm not gonna kill you for not resourcing the right cards at the start of the game. We're gonna go for this. Here, starting out. Pass. Put a nimble away. We can put out the Vel and add a nimble if need be. We can go Vel here. Give a shield token that's real nice for us. That's a rock. I mean, technically, I guess I'll bash. Trigger the draw us both a card. And then I'll pass. We'll put the Kirsten away. It's a little late right now to run him. He could potentially go this trigger here, so he potentially could go... Okay, aggressive negotiations. Alright, well, we're just going to knock out. There's no point in doing anything else right here. We're going to go 𝐒𝐲 Val to give 𝐒𝐲. We'll pass on this. Put this away. Don't think we had a Sun Ferocity. Nope. We do have a Mastery, though, so we do want to keep up 3 resources for the Mastery. Ahana, huh? Okay. We're going to go 2 damage from Vel. Opponent's going to pitch the Ray so they can knock out my shield. We're going to use Tobias' effect to give the Vel to my opponent so I get a credit token. Then let's swing. I'm going to give us both the draw. Not great considering the fact of what we want to do. We can go 2-phase Triog, pay without credits, trigger effect to give him 2 more credits. And then we can go Tobias. We can deploy Tobias. We can then immediately merc these both off, giving us 2 more draws, putting us up to 5 credits. We can put this on, select amount we will pay for with 3 credits. Done. We have a Mastery. We could pay an aggressive negotiation, but I don't think that's worth it right now. And after that, I think we can go to, we'll put out a Tordarian, just to have another body. To that, we can put this away. If we had a Rio Durgent, this would have been a great play. But we don't have the Rio Durgent right now. Okay, what's his play? I mean, this has attack of 5. I mean, it can hit Tobias for 5. Or it can just kill off the Tordarian. We're going to go aggressive negotiations, pay without the credits, smash. I guess we should have done this first and then got that one. We'll play the 2-headed Trog. We'll pass on that. I don't want to accidentally kill it here. I wanted to leave it up as a potential. We'll just bust the shield I have. We'll both trigger a draw. And then we will pass. 𝐴𝐻 is nice. We'll put the 2-phase Trog away. Well, the problem is I forgot this has Saboteur for some weird reason. Okay, so we swing, trigger, kill. We both draw. Another freaking Bith Brute. Man just wants to play them all. Pay without credits. Because, I mean, we do have the stolen 𝐴𝐻. The problem is, I do really am afraid of him flipping this turn. So we're going to put the pay without playing the credits. He just took the initiative. Okay. Just pass. The tree remembers. Thank goodness I have a way to get rid of that. Get rid of this Bith Brute. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 cards in hand, so he doesn't have enough to flip the Vader and immediately like merc off Tobias with it. So knock out the shield. The tree remembers. Pay without credits. Let's get this Bith Brute off the board. Say, would you like to play another Bith Brute? We just got annihilated by single reactor ignition. We're gonna play. Oh, gosh, dang it. Pay without playing credits. That's so annoying. I mean, I can't even play. Thank goodness for nimble prowess. We can rest the Vader. This ain't gonna help us, that's for sure. I mean, it'll help us. The problem is, there's just no way for me to out this Vader now. I mean, like, there's just no way. I mean, sucks that we had single reactor ignition, but I mean, he's in the coloration to use it. Why wouldn't you use it? I'm like, there's no great way to get out of this state, because I mean, unless he's going to pitch a whole bunch of cards here, aggressive negotiations, swing, pitch everything out of your hand. Because that's up to 22. Yeah, he gets the game here. He just pitches the rest of his hand off. So, you know what? I give credit. I was underestimating this deck altogether. It's actually not too bad, but I think you just got to get your draws right. Holy crap, he actually somehow kept me alive. Man, I wish I had an aggressive negotiations. I think that would have been pretty nice there. We can pay without credits. We can play. Paying without credits. We can pass. And then I just straight die. Yeah, swing here, game. Well done, sir. Well, I didn't win with Tobias Red, but we saw some great potential of it, what it can do. Am I the best pilot for Tobias Red? I don't think so, but maybe I messed things up. Maybe I missed things here and there. Overall, I mean, I think it really just takes a really good pilot to know what you're doing with Tobias Red. But nonetheless, I mean, this deck I think also just hinges on you just need aggressive negotiations. You just need to see what you need to see. And yeah, I mean, it's just aggressive negotiations deck. If you get off aggressive negotiations right, you just win the game. We just happened to hit the exact point when single reactor ignition just came in and nuked us off the board state. I mean, those Bith Brutes were so annoying to deal with because I couldn't deal anything with them at all. They just took everything to deal with it. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad deck, folks. I think it's still very good. It's very much a meta-relevant deck. Watch out for it to be meta because, again, I think anybody that's running red is going to be meta because of the Vader, Jin, Boba, Tobias, Luke Skywalker. I mean, anybody who can run a red, who is either a red leader or running a red base, can just run the aggressive negotiations, and then you just have the ability to kill your opponent off with it. So be ready for the aggressive negotiations meta, unless, of course, the first couple PQs or the first major PQ. So Fantasy Flight immediately sees that that red decks are just dominating the format, and they just immediately get rid of aggressive negotiations, knowing that's the entire reason why red is rampant. I think that after that, I think that would slow down the rampancy. I think that would definitely help the meta overall. But yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the Tobias Red deck. You can let me know what I messed up, what I went wrong, what I could have done better with him, and all of that. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mom Dragons TCG.